Okay, this is the third time I'm trying this now. I've unmuted every single button, but always the wrong one. So we're starting from the beginning. Here is Steffi from The Makers. Today it's the unboxing of the surprise and the Makers and the fairy box. And hopefully, hopefully you can all hear me now. If you're watching this at any time later on, hopefully Alicia will edit out the beginning of the bits where you couldn't hear me. So forget it all now. It's the 1st of April, which means it's the first of our unboxing of the subscription boxes. It's also April's Fool's Day, but we don't make jokes on April's Fool's Day, so you're all safe. So don't worry at all. Don't ever worry that the Makers will ever lead you down the garden path. They never do that, never. Anyway, so here we have it. The standing fox, which is made from the Makers box, comes, well, you make the grassy patch basically. What you will get in there, I'll show you in a minute, but it's basically the eco wool mat, 2 eco wool mats on top of each other. You don't have to make the grassy patch, you can also just use it as a felting mat, which is what we do. Our little beautiful little emperor butterfly fairy, which there's a little story behind it all, which I will tell you about. And then we have got our surprise box, which is themed Love Our Planet. Because on the 22nd of April, as every year, is International Earth Day. And so we thought that you might appreciate something to do with that topic. I'm just going to have a little check who is there. I'm really sorry about the bloopers that have started this at the beginning, but I know that I'm going to read lots of comments now how you can't hear me, so I'm just going to ignore all of those. So we have in the house Diane, Karen, Ashley, Jane. We've got Olga. We've got Awkward Prawn Erica, Heather, Bridget, Linda, Carol. Of course, we've got Alicia here from the Makers. We've got Christine. We've got Laura and Donna, Elaine, and Lily has just popped up as well. So welcome everybody. Let's have a look what's inside our boxes, and what shall we start with? Any preference? If you are quick, I might just hang in there to see which preference you have for me to open which box first. So I'm just going to watch out for that now. Well, Alicia has posted the surprise box and the link to it. As if you don't know what our surprise box contains, it's usually felting fibers, definitely always felting fibers because we're a needle felting business, but there might also be accessories, so you can make a felting project. Last month we had the storm in a teacup, and you got a little china teacup in there with colorful wool to make a mini scene inside. And what most people did were mini scenes, but also like bonsai trees, and they made fairy gardens and all kinds of things. So we have got, oh dear, 2 people are saying, one says fox, the other one says surprise. Come on, we need a third person to help me out here. Fox. Okay, third person fox. Let's start with a fox. Right, I'm going to go on the overhead camera so you can see what's inside the box. Here we go. We've got a new label on the outside, but nothing has changed on the inside. It's still good quality fiber, packaging, and our usual standard. You always get in your boxes our newsletter. This is the newsletter that everybody gets if you place orders. And on the back we have a free tutorial. This is courtesy of Alicia this month, of how to make these lovely pom-pom plants, which involves using a reverse needle. So if you want to try out using a reverse needle, this is an ideal project and opportunity to do so, because they're not the easiest needles to use maybe straight away on an animal. And we've also got our Makers Box newsletter in here, which is the Standing Fox. In this project, making wire armature is a key method you'll be using, which allows the fox to be posed however you like. You'll also be able you'll also be making a pom-pom tail, which is a technique new to most and is a great way to create a lovely bushy tail for your makes. And if you don't know it yet, we have got the owl, a little owl, life-size little owl coming up for May. June we've got the badger, and then in July a dolphin. So we always tell you 3 months in ahead what's coming for the subscription boxes. On the back of this newsletter, it tells you how to manage your subscription box, because you don't need to worry if you sign up. It's not for life, it's only for however long you want it, and you can also skip boxes if there's one that you don't want, or maybe you are not keeping up. You've got your needle felting instructions in this box as well for the standing fox, and you've got an extra one how to make the grassy patch as well. So the fox one just makes the fox, and then the grassy patch obviously shows you how to make the grassy patch that he stands on, if you wish to do that. It is optional. Very useful here is that you've got templates on the back so that it helps you to pose the fox and to know the sizing of a particular body part, so that's quite good. I'm going to keep that out first off because I will be showing you how to make the tail, so I will need to use that template that's pictured here on the back. Let's have a look what's inside. It's a smaller bag of wool this time because it's a smaller project, but nonetheless the value is always the same in each box. And you have in here our Fox Rust Brown. You have also in here the Natural White Luxury Organic Core, golden yellow and some brown black New Zealand Merino. That's all you need for the fox. You have 2 wires. You need 2 wires for this project, flexible steel wires. You have some green tops. If you remember, these were the ones that we used for the green fingers in January. So they are the cactus tops, which are really lovely. And you can make that grassy patch out of these 2 items. There is a particular technique of how you make the wool so it sticks up like a grass. And these are, I'm going to leave them in there. You've also got your glue-in eyes for the fox, 2 glue-in eyes in the size of 4mm. And you have also got, I've taken that out earlier, this comes in a little parcel. You've got some horsetail hair here for whiskers, and you've got an extra strong thread which I'm going to keep out because I need that to make the pom-pom tail. So I'm putting back what I don't need, and then I will get cracking on that pom-pom tail in a moment. I only need 1 wire for now. I'll keep the instructions, but not the grassy patch. This can go back in, and I have got some spare wool that I got out earlier, so I don't even need to open this up, and it's going to go back in the box. So this is your standing fox makers box. It's 1 box away from our box being exactly 1 year old. So the next time, number 60, the life-size little owl, will be our 5-year box anniversary box, and I hope that you have lots of fun. Maybe there's some people who've had the boxes from the very beginning and you've had every single box, 60 of them. That would be amazing to find out. So if you are one of those, then do let us know who you are. We can probably look through our books, but it might take a little bit longer than just giving a shout out here. So let's so the fox has got this bushy tail, and this is what I'm going to demo you now. The fox tail is posable, so you can bend him into any kind of position, and I will show you how to do this right this minute. So to make the fox tail, this bendy fox tail here, there he is, you need, from your maker's box, you will need your wire. That's that one here. You will need white and the Fox Rust Brown New Zealand Merino wool, and you will also need an extra strong thread which comes in the box. The things that are not coming in the box are the sewing needle, and you need a bit of cardboard as well, and you need some scissors to cut the cardboard into shape and later to cut the wool open as well. So the instructions tell you exactly the size of the cardboard box, which is in fact 3 by 10 centimeters. So if you don't know what 3 by 10 centimeters are, use the tape measure on the left hand side of each of the instruction sets. And what I've used here is from a parcel box. So it's not as solid as a cardboard. I would prefer you didn't use cardboard. Use a cereal package, that kind of thickness of card. And I'm measuring now 10 centimeters this way, and then it is 3 centimeter the other way. So here we go. And just going to cut that now. So I've got a little strip here that looks like that. If it's a millimeter wider on one end or the other, it really doesn't matter. And now I'm going to the last page of my instructions, because on there I have got the actual shape of it. And if you lay this on top, roughly on top there, you can see that it tapers from about here. So maybe you can mark that out and mark how wide it is at there. It's a rough guide. You can also cut out this whole thing and make the shape perfect that way. But I'm just going to go from there to there, and I'll do the same on the other side. It really doesn't matter if it's not 100% precise. As long as you've got sort of a slightly pointy cardboard, you will be absolutely fine. So now I can put my instructions away for a minute. And what you're going to start doing now is you're going to wrap the wool, the white wool, around the end of the cardboard where it's slightly tapered, because that is what will become the white bushy tail here. So I'm teasing the wool out so that I've got a more of a shape to wrap it. And you're just literally going to put this around the cardboard flat like a ribbon, exactly how you would normally wrap wire, and go as far where the tapering starts, and give it a few wraps just so that you've got a nice layer there, so you can't see the cardboard underneath anymore. Okay, so once you've done this, make sure the wool sort of sticks to itself like that. And then you're going to continue wrapping the cardboard with the Fox Rust Brown wool. Again, I'm teasing the wool out so that I've got a thinner layer. The more wraps you can get over it, the better, rather than making it just one wrap, but really fat. So I want to make a nice tight wrap, and I'm working my way now up towards the end of the cardboard. So this is basically what you're doing with this wool. Again, I'm just letting the fiber sort of grip into themselves, and then I'll continue up this tail. I just realized that normally I look at in all the boxes first and then I do the technical bit, but you've got it here in the middle this time. Let's change things up. Go round and round, and then continue this with the remaining wool. It tells you in the instructions exactly how much wool you need to allocate for it. I'm pretty certain it does anyway. And so you're not doing too much, and just finish it off at the very end so that you have actually wrapped the wool all the way to the very end here. And I'm just going to double check what it actually says in the instructions, because you will have that. And I'm already doing things wrong. Oh, I can't believe it. So basically what I've done here is I've wrapped the wool just with a Rust Fox Brown. The technique is exactly the same, but when you do this at home, you're meant to add a little bit of the dark black brown black in there, which I haven't done, but the technique is the same in that you're wrapping it. If you're mixing wool into it, you need to tease the fibers and mix them together. We have got another useful video for this, so you're not going to be left on your own if you've never done this, but you can also just make it in this color. So I do apologize, but normally what I have done here is you can just see it's a little bit more black. So foxes often have a little bit of black mixed into their tails, but this one is just red. So here we go. Right, so what you're doing next is you are now going to have to fasten this wire into the center of the tail, but you're also going to have to sew across the middle. The reason being is that that will help you, that will firm up the shape so that it becomes a pom-pom. It is much easier shown than explained. So what you need to do now is you need to thread your extra strong thread and double it. So put it through your needle and then double it. You've got a long thread there, so if you feel you need to work in 2 parts, then cut it in half. And I'm going to put a knot on the back here. So it's doubled up the thread, and now you've got to secure this thread at the end of the white flush here. And the best way to do that is, because you've got a loop, you've tied a knot into it, is to actually go through that loop at the end, and that will definitely, can only see it there, that will definitely secure your thread. So now it's solid because you have actually sewn it into the cardboard and into the wool. Now you're going to do back stitches, and back stitches is basically where you go into your shape and then you go back half a stitch. So this is what you do: you go back half a stitch on yourself and then forward a whole stitch. And when I say sort of a whole stitch, it's probably about 0.5 centimeters, so half a centimeter, and then you go back half a stitch. So you're always, it's almost like going a step forward and then half a step back, which means that you're going, when you're going back, you're going into the stitch that you made before. So you're making a very neat line of stitching, and all you're doing just with a white flush, you're just doing this into the cardboard for now until you get to the brown bit here. If you need to find out what a back stitch is, then definitely look it up and maybe Google it, because it's really important that you get a stitch that is really close together. It looks a bit messy from the other side, but that's exactly what it's meant to look like. When you get to the end of the white, and this is where it becomes important, you're now going to fold your wire in half. So bend it in half, and you're putting this half bend onto the end of the tail here. And the next time you go through the tail, so I'm coming up now for my whole step forward there. So now you're trapping that wire. Can you see I've sewn into it, and then you go behind it with your half step back. And the next step is that you're twisting this wire. Just give it one twist. And then the next step, the next time you come back, is that you're going into the twisted wire, so in front of that twist again. So that, and then going the half step back, you're going back into the same loop you went in before. So what you're doing is you're taking this wire with you all across. So the next thing is you're twisting the wire again. Going in front of the twist with your needle. Make sure you try and do this as much in the center as possible. Pull the thread tight every time, so don't leave it slacking. Go into that last twisted loop that you've done. Twist the wire. Go in front of the twist again. Back into the loop behind. So every time you put the thread through, you have got the wire is coming with you, and it continues getting twisted. Twist again. Stitch in front of that twist. Back into the loop you left behind, so you might have to keep the loop a little bit open so you can actually get in with your needle. Twist again. Well, you can see what I'm doing here. Just takes a little while to work your way forward. It's definitely worth it doing this. Oh, caught the fox there. doing this diligently and always twisting that wire and then taking it up with you as you go along the tail, making sure you pull it tight, pull your thread tight, stay in the middle as much as you can, go into the loop behind and then twist it again and keep going up that wire. Next one, into the loop behind. Make sure that wool doesn't entirely slip off that cardboard there. Into the loop, into the just in front of the twist again, back into the loop behind, and nearly there. Another couple of twists and then we're there. In front of the wire, into the loop behind, like that, twisted, into the twist in front, into the loop behind, twisted, nearly there. There's the end of the cardboard. Into the loop in front, sorry, into the twist in front, into the loop behind, and I'm going to get another one in here, into the, just catching that cardboard now, and into the loop behind. Right, so what you've got now is you've got a wire that's fastened onto the tail, your stitches at the back, which look very untidy. If you've got extra thread left, it does not say this in the instructions. If you want to, you can go back every time going back into the loop. That will double secure it. If you don't catch the wire in the middle, then go next to the wire. That's also good, because what you're doing that way is you're perforating this card, and that's exactly what needs to happen. With sewing it together, you're also perforating it. So you can get rid of excess thread. This does not say this in the instructions, but you can get rid with the excess thread by just going back over your stitches again. Whether you go with a back stitch or a forward stitch, it doesn't really matter how you want to add that stitch into it. Just stay as close to your original stitching as possible, so you can get rid of any excess thread that way, and you're doubly securing your tail here. And in a minute it will become very clear why that is important. It doesn't need to look pretty. This is not to show off your neatest sewing. This is just to perforate the wire whilst fastening the wool, sorry, to perforate the card whilst securing the wire and the wool to the card. That's the only reason why you're doing this. So when you've done that, then whatever you do with your thread, just cut it. Nearly there. Just one more here, and then I'm just going to get rid of it now. So I'm securing my thread now, and I've actually got our little sharp rainbow scissors, which I haven't used to cut the card. I'm going to use it now for the next step. If you've only got one pair of scissors, you can use it for both. So you have got a flat tail here now, very flat, with a wire that's sewn up firmly into the center, with stitching that doesn't look very neat, but it's fine. And all you're going to do now is ignore these ends of the wire. These end of the wire here, they will help you now to fasten the legs in and start building the body on the fox. So everything starts with a tail, but these wire lengths we do need to keep intact. And now you're going to find that card by cutting into the wool. This is now what will look familiar to a pom-pom, because you're going to cut along this card into the wool. You cut the wool open along the sides, all the way to the front where the tail end is. So make sure that you do cut all of it, so that the wire, the card is now exposed, and you do the same on the other side. So the wool is going nowhere because you've basically secured it really firmly in the center, and your card is now going to be exposed by cutting into the edge of the tail. There we go. So now you've got basically what you've got here now. You can see the bushy tail coming along nicely here. What you can't see at the moment is how on earth is this card going to come out. Now this is why you have perforated the card with your stitching, and you do need to pull it out. So don't be afraid to pull it. The stitch will not break because it's really strong thread, and the card, because you've perforated it with the stitching, should just break free. So you do this on one side and then you do this on the other side. And because you've taken, in fact it comes out really easily now, and because you've taken that wire with you, you now can bend that tail into any direction that you want to, because the wire is solidly running across it. I've got my end of the tail here, so I'm just going to tail of the thread, and there's my card all torn up. You can't use that again. If you have a little bit of card stuck inside, it doesn't matter as long as you can't see it. And that's basically how you make the bushy tail of the fox that will attach to the body. This is a great technique if you want to make any other tails, squirrel tails, cat tails, red panda tails, any kind of long bushy tails that you want to make. And as I say, because you've got the wire inside, you can pose them and bend them whichever way you want. And that's what I wanted to show you, how to make the tail for the fox. The only thing that I missed and that I did wrong is that I didn't mix my fox rust red wool with a little bit of brown black to give it a more of a sort of variegated black look. But you can do that separately, and if you make any other tails in the future, you might use different wool altogether. Right, that's all there is to say about this. So I'm going to put this to one side now. And moving on. Right, let's get rid of all of this so I don't get confused, which happens quite easily. And I'm going to show you now what you get in your fairy box for this month. The fairy box is the butterfly fairy, which is a purple emperor butterfly, and the fairy butterfly fairy idea was I got originally from my Making Fairy Folk book, where you can make lots more of these, or maybe you have done them already. But in the book there is a moth and a butterfly in there, so maybe this will inspire you to make more in the future. But I'm going to go overhead with this now so that you can see what's inside the box. And let's get this little butterfly just flying across here. There she comes. So she is very dainty, really lovely little butterfly shape here, with the wings pointing out. So she looks actually much nicer from the back than from, can't see the wings that much from the front. We will be making her together on the 12th of April, because that's when we do the Butterfly Fairy tutorial in April. Every month now we do the fairy box as a live stream on YouTube, so you can watch her then as well. And if I open her up here, if I open the box up, that is not the fairy. We always have to sellotape them shut really well because they're a little bit under tension. There's so much in there that they often pop open the boxes. So let's just open that up. Here we go. So you have in here, as with all boxes, the Butterfly Fairy newsletter, and this one here, a beautiful butterfly fairy. By some, butterflies are seen as a sign of hope, change and rebirth, and are also believed to bring good luck, making them the perfect theme for our fairy this month as we welcome new beginnings and the start of spring. And the Purple Emperor butterfly in particular, which was the inspiration for this fairy, is extra special as we lead up to the royal celebrations and the Queen's Platinum Jubilee this June. As the color purple symbolizes royalty and emperor is another name for majesty, we think it's the perfect fit. Exactly. So next month you will get the Queen Bee Fairy. That's coming up as well. We have a bit of a royal theme going here, but it's only for those who want it to be. Otherwise, you can just make a Queen Bee Fairy. That's it. Again, full set of instructions, step-by-step instructions with color pictures, take you all the way from the beginning to the end. What's special about this fairy, we always try and introduce new techniques and put something new in there for you, is that you will be felting these butterfly wings onto water-soluble paper. And for this, you have water-soluble paper in this kit. So there is the wire that you need to make the fairy, your wool mat that you get in every fairy kit. You are getting a medium needle in this one. It requires a medium needle, and here you can see the water-soluble paper right under there. There it is. And you also have a string to hang your fairy. Because she's a flying fairy, because she's a butterfly. So you've got the chocolate brown for the fairy's head, arms and legs. You've got this, the dark purple, New Zealand dark purple for making the butterfly here on the back, as well as this lovely purple mix. And then you've got the brown black to make the details on the fairy, as well as giving her the hair. And in here, this is to mix the wool to get this lovely color on the butterfly. Excuse me, including the orange. You will also be using the orange to mix into her dress, so you've got little flecks of orange in there, and you will be using it to give her her little mouth if you do make fairies with faces. And that basically is all there is to say about this little butterfly fairy. If you have any questions about anything right now whilst you're watching this live, then do pop a message into the comments here whilst we've got everybody here answering it. We are going to we're going to re-stream this particular unboxing on Sunday at 7 p.m, but it will be unmanned, meaning that Alicia won't be there, and you can just watch it again, or maybe you're watching it for the first time. Then you can certainly do that on our Facebook page, The Makers with 2 S's, and you can watch it there at 7 p.m. on Thursday, and that would be the 3rd, I think it's the 3rd of April. And our Facebook handle is our Facebook page. If you can't find it straight away, then just search for, I'm going to get a bigger sign of this, by the way, it's themakers.co.uk, so The Makers with 2 S's, and that's where you can find us. Which leaves me just to look and have a secret look into the surprise box. I don't know if any of you have spotted, but I am totally sold onto these little teacup scenes. They're now definitely my most favorite needle holders, because I can just pick them up and take them from one desk to the other. Before I've got them stuck in every single contraption that I can think of, non-human or animal contraptions. So I'm just going to show you the surprise box, but before I do this, I'm just going to have a quick look what people are actually talking about. Let's just see. Oh, lots of people are saying how long they've been here. The boxes are amazing, Karen. That's why I'm still here. Thank you so much for being with us on the boxes. We were one of the first companies that did the subscription boxes, and we're still here, and we want to support you. And what's special about our boxes, and I can only speak about our boxes, is that I can reassure you 100%. There's so much thought and care goes into every single project. It doesn't like just drop into our laps. I mean, now that I'm doing them all on my own, I think about them day and night, literally, and I work on them day and night as well. And I always, the thing that's at the forefront is for me to think of something that you haven't seen yet. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? Because at some point you might have seen it all. Who knows? That's always my fear. But then maybe we start at the beginning again, because you will have forgotten what was there. But I just love thinking what else is there that I can try out, that I can share then. So it's always something new. And then of course it's not just me designing the project. There's a lot of work behind it all, because I write the instructions, I take the photos, then everything has to be edited. The instructions need to be edited, they need to be made look good. The templates need to be made, they need to be inserted in the instructions, and then all the materials needs to be ordered, because we sell so many subscription boxes that we actually have to buy in for every subscription box special materials. That all needs planning, that all needs making sure that the supply chain is in place, because after lots of changes over the last 18 months in particular, nothing just drops down like a drop of hat. It has to be planned ahead. So there is a lot of things involved. And then finally, once the instructions are done, once we know what goes in the box, once we've ordered it, then it all gets packed up, and it gets packed up by our amazing team, all packed by hand, with care, with love. Every single box gets lined with a tissue paper. All the materials and all the accessories and the tools and everything, the wool, gets caring with care and love, get packed together and then put in a box. And then the final stickers go onto it, and then it gets packed again into a special envelope, so that it's a nice color when it comes through your letterbox, or maybe when the postman hands you the box. And we've just changed the color for the makers boxes, so it will be more like the color that like that tealy color that we have as our company colors. Anyway, cut a long story short, I was reading these things here. Oh, Bridget says the fawn lying down was my first box, my birthday box. I love that fawn. It's also in the fairy book, by the way, if you do want to make it. So if you want to know where I got this idea from with a pom-pom tail, I got the idea from when I had a craft shop and I was knitting animals, and that you can do this with yarn as well, and that is a way of how to make a pom-pom tail. Not just, and I thought, oh, I'll try it with wool, and it works perfectly. So there you go, with felting wool. Right, let's oh no, I can't go in the overview camera for this one. Aha, nearly got me there, nearly. So Love Our Planet, surprise box number 38. We've celebrated our 3 years of surprise boxes with this one. I can't read what is on the shade card on this, but what I can tell you is that our surprise boxes, first of all, I'm going to take either a video or a photo of what's inside, and I will post this in our spoiler group on Facebook. Now, we have 2 spoiler groups. One group that has been corrupted. Don't ask me why. I haven't been the best of friends with technology most recently. We have a new spoiler group. If you have been asked to get into the spoiler group that is old, and I can't do anything with it. I can't change the I am like anybody else. I can't accept members. I can't change the title, I can't change the picture. I'm basically being kicked out of my own group. So we've set up a new group. If you are not getting accepted in that group, it's because it's not that we don't want you, it's because you're asking to get into the wrong group. There is a new group. So please go looking for a new group, and you will be let in there, I can promise you. Maybe we can post the link to that group here in the comments, and make sure maybe that on Facebook we have a link to it as well, if you want to join that group. which means that you will see what's in every month's surprise box at that month, but you are sworn to secrecy. Otherwise, we have to come and find you and make you silent forever. So in this one here, Love Our Planet, our boxes always have a theme. Let's try and make that as clear as possible for anybody who doesn't know this. So Love Our Planet is because on the 22nd of April is International Earth Day. It's always the same date. So what we thought with these boxes is we have thought about the earth, we have thought about the shape, the elements, the colors, the environment, and yeah, that's it really. Carbon footprint, that's what we thought about as well. So that basically means if you add all of this up and if you bear all of this in mind, you get a really beautiful box with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different fibers and one something else. That's also made from wool, but it's something else. And they're amazing, and I can't wait to see what you're making. So yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to say. I will take a video of this so that you can see it in the spoiler group, and then of course, not to forget, we have got 2 important things to support you throughout your subscription boxes. One is that Alicia runs private Zoom sessions. I say they're private. They're not private as in you can't join. It's just that she does it in her own private time, and every box gets supported through the Zoom sessions, with the exception of the fairy box, because I kind of spoiled that by making the fairies now in live streams. Try and get her back on there again. So if you want, and I think it's been replaced with a Gab and Stab group, so it's just general chitter chatter and getting together. But there will be a Zoom for the makers box, so making the fox, and there will be one for the surprise box as well. And you don't have to be a subscriber to join. It can also be that you just want to poke your head in and see what it's like. And what the boxes are like and what people are making and what they say about the boxes. You can find the Zoom links in our Everyone a Maker Facebook group. That's a public group. No, it's not actually. It's a private group that you need to ask to join. And we just want you to be a member there because you care about our products and that's all you talk about. So we don't want you to come and promote other people's products. That, of course, you wouldn't do that. I'm just making that clear. So we will ask questions to that effect. And then the other thing that we have is we have a competition every month where you can win yourself a prize if you share with us your subscription box makes, and that's just in form of a photo on the said group, and there is a post there, and the competition usually runs into the new months from the previous months, so that some people who get their boxes only at the very end of the month have got time to submit their pictures as well. And yes, I think that's probably all I've got to say. So the boxes, you sign up, you can cancel anytime, you can skip boxes anytime. Oh yes, then maybe I should also say that we've made our Makers box available as a one-off box, but we've just scrapped that idea. Reason being, when you sign up for a Makers box, you get a full tool set in there. If you buy this box as a one-off, every time you get a full tool set, and that adds a lot to the price. So actually, it looks really expensive when you buy a Makers box as a one-off. So we've scrapped that idea. However, the fairy box and the surprise box are still available to buy as a one-off if you just want to have a little poke and see what is what, and don't want to subscribe because you don't trust us. You can trust us. You can trust us. So the only other thing I need to say is what upcoming boxes are in store for you. And here we go. So we have for May. Next month, the Little Owl, our anniversary Makers box, the Queen Bee Fairy, as I talked about, and then the surprise box is themed Street Party. I wonder why. In June, we've got a badger, and this is a lying down badger, so with his tummy in the air. It sounds, I know exactly what he's going to be like, but you just have to bear with me on that one. We've got the Ladybird Fairy, and the surprise box is themed How Does Your Garden Grow? And then in July, we're going to do a dolphin. We have the Moon Fairy, and the surprise box is the Coastal Path theme. So I think I think that's all I've got to say. So I'm gonna check out now. I just have another little look here, because there's quite a lot of people watching actually for an unboxing. So um, so yes, oh yeah, these little cups here, maybe I should say that you can definitely get a long way with the Enchanted Forest wool mix. That's a really good one to do a cup, and then any sort of teacup will do. Doesn't have to be, it can even be a soup bowl, anything. And we've done the teacup as a live stream this Tuesday. I will also do my very, very best to make a project up for the summer retreat. I wish I could just like empty my brain out and you could see all the images there. But I'm going to make a large figure that we will be making in the summer retreat from the 15th to the 17th of July. And we have got spaces available, and I can't recommend it enough because it's so much fun. If I wasn't running it, I'd be joining it. Otherwise, I promise you. And it's just get away for 2 days. Just stop wool and be happy and make friends, eat food, hang out, enjoy the outdoors. We're gonna have nice weather. I've already ordered it, so it's all gonna be good. And just learn new things, walk away with an accomplished project. And it's going to be a large figure, whether you make it into a gnome or witch or a forest spirit or whatever. I'm sure that you will finish or make a very sophisticated figure based on a base figure that I will be making. And I'm going to be making a gnome because I love gnomes. So I love the fairies. They're both beautiful and mischievous. Oh, thank you, Bridget. And not normally one for fairies, but she looks lovely. I know lots of people are not into fairies. I have no idea why, but once you make these, you will be. Fiona says, I would never have guessed that was how the tail was made. There you go. Yeah, we'll come with new ideas and new techniques, and we share them. We don't keep them to ourselves. Right. Make yourself a really long one for Halloween. I'm dreading to think what you're talking about, but I'm sure it's all above board. There we go. Don't think my darning needles would cope with this. No, you need a pointy. You need a pointy needle. I used a big needle just so that you could see it better. You can use a small needle. The thread is quite thin. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to stop reading backwards in the comments now because I only get myself into trouble. Thank you so much for watching. Give us the thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done already so. Aha, I think it was a tail. Make yourself a really long tail, of course. Right. Yes, subscribe to our channel. Tell all your friends about it. Maybe this is something that you know, somebody who wants to get into needle felting. It's very therapeutic. It's really it just whiles the time away and it empties your brain and it just keeps your hands busy. That's what I always think. And so hopefully we can see all your lovely foxes and butterfly fairies and whatever you make from the surprise box over the next few weeks. And I am really excited because it makes my day every day. Right, guys, that's all from me today. I shall see you on Tuesday already again when we're making a simple bunny. He was hopping around here somewhere. There he is. Very simple bunny. Oh, he's lost an eye. Let's turn him around. There we go. Simple bunny with 2 eyes, I promise you, on the day. So take care, everybody, and see you soon.